All right, first episode, boys. How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling?
Let's do
Man,
it.
I'm excited.
All right,
So excited.
all right. Let's start from Peewit, and then we'll go Shane, and then me. So Peewit, introduce yourself.
What's up? Preston. You can call me Peewit. Big Bills fan, big Sabres fan, Buffalo sports all around. Love the Knicks. Fucking Jalen Brunson on a tear right now. Absolute unit. Yeah. Played college football with these guys. These are my guys, and ready to get this shit going.
Let's go, Shane.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Haran.
All right. What's up, guys? I'm Shane. Super excited to get started. If you couldn't, you probably can't tell. You can't see my whole room, but big Jets fan. You know, being from Long Island naturally does that to you. Grew up to it.
Not me though.
Yeah, Preston hit on it. We all played football together in college. Now we started this channel because we were on FaceTime for hours long talking about football around the league, and it just made us think like we could talk about this, and I think people would really be interested because we follow this stuff very heavily. Me being a Jets fan, Aidan being a huge Raiders fan, Preston being the Bills fan. You know, I think we're gonna make some great content. I'm excited.
Fucking love it. Let's do it. That's great. What
All
what
right,
an intro.
and as Shane mentioned, I'm Aiden, huge Raiders fan. If you couldn't tell, grew up in Long Island, about 10 minutes away from Mr. Haran. But yeah, like Peewit said, we all played college football. Me and Peewit were roommates. What a room to be in. But yeah, like Shane said, we're all huge NFL fans. We follow this like it's a religion. We're excited to get started, see where this takes us, and take some of you along with the ride.
All right, so to get it started, let's go over the last season. For me and Aiden, but a dull topic. But so that we'll start it first with Preston. Talk about the previous Bill season, the expectations going into it, how you guys performed, and how you think the Bills as a whole handled everything.
Yeah. Expectations coming into the season were really high. After a really unfortunate playoff loss the year before to Kansas City in the AFC Championship, we had a lot of good key returning pieces and a lot of good contracts that had just been signed, and we were really ready to continue along the same path we had been on. Uh, the receiver room was obviously our weakest point, and to be honest with you, Brandon Beane's an idiot and didn't do anything in the offseason to kind of combat that problem whatsoever. He brought in, Chase Claypool, Josh
Dog,
Palmer, a bunch
dog,
of like what are we
dog,
doing? A bunch of camp guys really, and
dogs. All
Elijah
minus
Moore,
dogs.
like just a whole lot of nothing. Didn't really do make any big moves in the offseason. Draft first round pick, we took Maxwell Harrison at the 30th pick. Unfortunate, he was kind of injured a lot of the year. He looked promising, but honestly, the lack of receivers we were kind of always due. You can't really expect to win a Super Bowl without any sort of help on the offensive side of the ball. Don't get me wrong, James Cook is an absolute dog, rushing leader this year. He's been great, but being a run first team with Josh Allen at quarterback, that can kind of happen. Um, and yeah, ending the season, it looked like we were going to clean house. It started off with McDermott getting the boot. He was fired 2 days after the Denver loss. And honestly, I was all right with it until I kind of figured that they were going to keep Bean, which didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Honestly, if you're going to clean house, you kind of got to go all the way. And Bean is exactly, yeah. Bean, I don't know. I feel like he wasn't McDermott got scapegoated in a way. You can McDermott can only go so far with drafting with a GM drafting Keon Coleman in the second round. With a GM who drafted Kyer Elam in the first round, like
Dog.
Kincaid in the first round, great player, but he's never on the field. Like
Future Raider right there.
he really put all the blame on McDermott, in my opinion. And then the kind of even the part that got me even more confused was hiring a new coach from in house when they hired Joe Brady. That was when I really was like, all right, what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah.
You did, the whole owner press conference was talking about, we hit a preliminary playoff wall. We need a new leader. We need a new set of things. What all this we need to do. You go and bring in the offensive guy who was responsible for partial downfall of this team. So to be honest, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Since he's been hired, he's grown on me for sure. His opening presser, I really thought,
Oh, was it?
I did. I loved his opening presser.
I'm
But
glad.
saying things and carrying things out are also different,
Yeah.
because he could totally just be saying what
Dude,
want to hear.
if
And I love the OC and DC hire too as well. Carmichael and then Jim Leonard on the defensive
Jim
side.
Leonard,
Just
phenomenal.
love that hire so much. Love
No,
that hire so much.
oh,
His presser was great today. But yeah, I mean, expectations, I don't even really know where to put them at, because you honestly could say we could repeat and do the same thing, but I could also see, a complete downfall with this whole new staff, and I don't know.
we welcome you to poverty. Don't worry.
But I will say I'm excited to see what happens here it's been the first time in like 8-9 years we've had, a new head coach and new coordinators from outside, the Buffalo Bills organization. So yeah, it's really exciting, but
The
they
Bills
need
are the only
to
ones with
some moves.
playoff
They need
experience.
some moves.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna tag off you quick.
Yeah.
That Jim Leonard hire, I completely loved. He took the interview for the Jets. I think he did as a favor. Working with Sean Payton, who Aaron Glenn is very close with.
Mhm.
Sean Payton is the guy who really got Aaron Glenn into the door.
Right.
So Jim Leonard for us was a pipe dream. We all knew he was going to land one of the premier spots. Buffalo, I think that's a great fit. What I'm expecting with the Bills is I think you're going to see a shift in the team. I think you're going to see a very defensive. James Cook is going to get used and really relied on, and I think that's great. Take a little bit off of Josh Allen's plate. Josh Allen's still probably the best quarterback in football, in my opinion. And I think the
Geno
Bills.
Smith, what are we talking about?
It's time to kind of, sorry, not to bite into your time here, Shane, but it's kind of time to not rely on him to do everything. It's just
Yep.
it's not realistic in the NFL.
Yep.
He needs help. It's that simple.
Mhm.
But yeah,
100%.
love the hire here you guys made with Reich. Love it.
Yeah, Frank Reich's interesting, man. So jumping in now to the Jets, coming off of last year, going into last year, we'll say first. I was expecting, cut out a little bit. I was expecting, like a 6. I'm not going to say the next number.
Say 6,
Um,
7.
like 6 or 7
I'll
wins.
say it.
I was expecting like a competitive team. I wasn't expecting to be a good team. I just want to look like your average bad team, if you know what I mean. Like I wanted to fight in every game. So going into the year, last offseason, obviously Salah got fired. That was mid-season last year. So we had some time to really think about the process. You knew who the coordinators that were going to get interviews were. You knew Mike McCarthy was out there. That was a big rumor. You knew Brian Flores, who seems to be in every cycle now, but can never land that job.
Yeah.
That
I
makes
think he
me
just wants to
think
stay with
he
the
may not interview too well.
No. I think he
Um,
just wants to stay with the Vikings. There's like Josh
I don't think
McDaniels.
so. He's taking
Like
these interviews, and
like
he's
when
not
Josh
going to.
McDaniels was the head coach of this organization, he's just a better coordinator than he's a head coach. Some people are just meant to be coordinators. Like
That is true, but Brian Flores had 10 wins in his first year as a head coach. I think
Has to be something going on with these interviews.
if Houston doesn't really go that far and they fire D'Amico Ryans, I think he might go take the Texans job.
maybe.
I mean, McCarthy just got hired as a head coach. I mean, in no way, as a GM, would I take him over Brian Flores? Which makes me
It's just because they want Aaron Rodgers for another year.
I don't think that's it. I think Pittsburgh, they've had, what was it, 4 coaches in the last,
Yeah,
how long? Is it 40 years?
40 something,
they've only had a
It's,
handful of coaches in their history. It's just
and can't get past the first round of the past.
this is, believe it or not, the first offensive-minded head coach in at least 40 years, I believe.
yeah.
They've always hired young, defensive-minded, really like CEO kind of coaches. So I think McCarthy could be interesting. I expect Ty Simpson to be in play for the Steelers. I think if Ty Simpson gets past the Rams at 13, the Jets at 16, I think the Steelers are going to pick up the phone, call up, go
21.
get him.
What do you
What do you
they're
think
gonna
about
trade
Will
up?
Howard? You think Will
Ooh,
Howard's just not?
no. Will Howard is old. He's 25.
Will Howard, he's there's a
He's
reason he fell
Yeah.
it's
last
because
draft. I
it's
will
because
say
he's
that.
25.
You hear from the Steelers, they really like him, but who knows? Like Aaron Glenn in a presser said he really liked Brady Cook and
Right.
he beat out Tyrod for the job.
Yeah.
Well, like
You
the
know?
thing with Will Howard is like the thing with Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett won 2 national championships. By the time he came out of college, he was 26. You're not going to start a 26-year-old rookie because that's already like prime QB age. Like,
You know?
not to bite into the Jets time, but like obviously we have that number one pick, and we're going to take Mendoza. Mendoza's just turned 21.
hmm
So when Will Howard's turning
I think
26,
he was 22,
or he might
I
just turn
believe.
22, I think you're right. But you're not going to start a 26-year-old second-year quarterback that hasn't played
hmm
in over a year.
Yeah, but here's one thing for you. You hear people jump on like Carson Beck a lot.
Oh,
He's not the most pulverizing prospect. I get it. He's not the best player. He's probably going to be, in my eyes, like a fifth round guy.
you're going to give him fifth? I
Um,
was going to say undrafted.
no,
I,
I could see him being a fifth round. I think Diego Pavia is undrafted.
I hate him. His
5'9",
is the
and his hand
worst
measurements
body.
are
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
atrocious.
You saw what he was labeled as at Vanderbilt. He was labeled 6'1".
Yeah, no, but going back, I can see the Steelers like taking a Ty Simpson because McCarthy's going to want his guy. At the end of the day, first year head coaches are tied to who they bring in at the quarterback position. Aaron Glenn brought in Justin Fields.
Oh,
That the Jets just won 3 games and are
right.
miserable right now. If you have a rookie quarterback, like look at for example, like Tennessee, they have a gutted roster. I know they just hired a new head coach,
mhm.
Robert
OC.
Saleh, Brian
I like
Dable.
the OC
I
hire.
like that pairing,
I like the OC. Yeah.
but there's signs of hope. There's signs of hope because Cam Ward, he didn't have the best year. I think we could all say that, but he showed so much
He
promise.
made
That
some
arm
ins-
talent.
he made some insane throws that I have.
Unlike Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders, who I absolutely
Yeah.
despise.
But now going back to the Jets, man.
Yeah.
Uh, we're loaded with picks. We traded Sauce. We traded Quinnen when we started
I
zero
remember
and
texting you
7.
about that, and you were freaking out.
My reaction on the day of probably wasn't the best,
Pull it
but
up. Do I pull it up?
I
I'm gonna go
I
pull it up.
really love Darren Muji being able to accept, okay, like I took this job. I thought we could do a competitive rebuild,
Mhm.
kind of get after it a little bit in year one.
Yeah.
Kind of, maybe 8 wins, maybe, but we know.
Can you see that? What in all caps?
Yeah. But he saw, he goes, look, like this team isn't built to win right now. Let's gather assets. Not this year's class, next year's class. It's
Jeremiah
loaded
Smith,
with talent. There could be 5 first-round quarterbacks. So we'll see. I wouldn't continue.
The organization this offseason coming up, like what would you consider a win towards the future?
Yeah, the Jets are in a weird spot because if you were to ask a lot of Jets fans what's the best outcome of this season, their answers would most of the time pretty much be like building the defense and pretty much punting to next offseason.
Right.
Like I think if there was like a Madness simulate button, simulate to next season, every Jets fans would pick that one. It's like we have assets, but of course, whenever the Jets are bad, whenever the Jets are a laughing stock, which is a lot, but whenever they're really bad, they're not really bad a lot. They were really bad this year. Of course, there was a team worse than them. And of course, it's a 1 quarterback class.
And
Yeah.
of course, it's my team.
Which
And
is
of course,
one of the most unfortunate things I think for the
You
Jets.
know,
thank God for the Giants. Never thought I'd be
Everything
saying
fell
that.
into the wrong place at the wrong time for them.
I know. I had to watch. I had to watch the Jets go out there and pretty much say they were going to tank. They rolled out Brady Cook for I think it was 8 games.
MVP, by the way.
And to know going into next season, I'm either going to have to watch like a Mariota, a
Ooh.
Kirk Cousins, a Kyler Murray. It's a little disheartening.
Dude, you know what I
but
heard? I heard Jacoby Brissett.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I want a high variance guy.
Only
So as far as
because
what I expect, what I want, and what I expect are
Yeah.
kind of very different. I want the Jets to move to a 3-4, which I actually think they may do. They just hired the Steelers D-line coach, who I really like. He's been there 8 years. He started in New York with Rex Ryan.
Is he continuing as the D line coach or?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. We have a
former
young
DC.
DC. Glenn's going to be calling the plays.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping to move to a 3-4. I hope we draft Arvel Reese. Ruben Bain, I won't complain.
I love that pick.
But
You know,
and
you're
then
gonna have to
at
get
pick 16, if Makai Lemon's there, that's like a run to the podium pick.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're a Jets
He's
fan, you're
not
at 16, right? You're at
If he's
16. Would you rather Mekhi Lemon or Ty Simpson?
Makai Lemon.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't really see a reason
I
for
don't know, dude. Like we were talking about this before, and you said you are like you're like sort of high on Ty Simpson,
I am.
right? But like if you know everything's about taking risk in the NFL, right?
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to the later rounds. Like there's
Mhm.
not very sure like top 10 pick, he's gonna be the guy. Why don't you just take the shot? See what happens. You already have like Garrett Wilson,
No,
Mason Taylor.
that's a very good point. But the thing is, when there's a player like Makai Lemon at pick 16, I don't think you miss on that guy again. We already did that with JSN.
right.
He was
The
sitting there.
difference between having Jacoby Brissett and Ty Simpson versus having Makai Lemon and not, it is
Yeah.
exponential to have Makai Lemon this season, in my opinion, because Ty Simpson as a rookie quarterback, who it definitely shows a lot of promise. But I think if the Jets can hold off a year,
Mhm.
I really think that
It's going to be ugly, but
yeah, but if you
You
can
gotta-
see
you
some
gotta-
promising signs, you see if you end up, getting Lemon at 16, see how that pair does with maybe a veteran quarterback like
Mhm.
Brissett or Mariota. See how the defense progresses throughout the season, and I'm there could be a lot of good signs going into the following offseason.
Yeah, soon we're going to be making a draft video about like 5 players we all kind of want to target in the draft. So we'll dig into the draft a little more on that. But I just want to see the Jets come out of this and just be competitive. That's all I want. That's all I want. But yeah, we'll turn it over to
Yeah. All you, Aidan.
Oh yes. So we hired Pete Carroll and we traded Geno Smith, and I thought, all right, bet we're going to the fucking playoffs. Sorry for cursing, but I was like, all right. After week 1, we beat the Patriots, and then we lost 9 straight. Not good. We drafted Genti, of course, and behind that god abysmal offensive line, still had 1,400 total yards and 10 touchdowns. Can't complain about that. But wide receiver play was awful. Tight end got hurt about 8 weeks. Quarterback obviously couldn't see anything besides the defense.
yeah.
But it doesn't help when your defense, like, it was the best it's been since 2016 Derek Carr, and that hasn't obviously been good. But like you have Max Crosby, Jeremy Chin played well, and Eric Storch played well. Our linebackers couldn't guard water in the ocean. Malcolm Kuntz couldn't do Nikes. And our other defensive tackle touched Geno Smith's private part in the offseason and got cut.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So we're going into week 17, and I'm pretty sure I was with you when this happened. We went to the Jet game. Me and Shane went to the Jets-Patriots game where they lost like 42-6. And we sped to Buffalo Wild Wings with one of our friends, Eddie, to watch the Giants-Raiders game to see who would get the number 1 overall pick. And obviously the Raiders, in Raider fashion, lost. Thank God. Now we have Mendoza, hopefully. But, going into the
You guys got embarrassed, too.
Yeah, it was not like Dart annihilated you guys.
I don't care. I got the number 1 overall pick. Then we beat the Chiefs next week, but it doesn't matter. But, when it comes down to it, every offseason for the Raiders starts the same. You get a head coach with Kubiak. I wanted Kubiak from the start. Neither of these two guys can attest. I literally said from the jump, no one else. I want Kubiak. That's it.
You start saying Davis Webb a little bit in the
because
middle.
I started saying Davis Webb towards the end because I started seeing some more and more reports about Kubiak staying.
I don't think you thought he was gonna.
I didn't think he was, because who would ever in their right mind take the Raiders head coaching job? But here we are. And so I'm really hoping.
It hasn't happened yet, though.
Okay, well, it's going to happen.
We'll see.
Or else-
We'll
or
see.
else I'm
It
gonna get Jets
feels
fan.
like a lock,
It
Well,
feels
anything can happen.
oh, like you never know if a guy goes,
The GM said it's a lock.
oh, on a set team in the Super Bowl here, like he may, you
The
know.
Seahawks GM said it was a lock. Like he said, Kubiak's already on the Raiders.
I did see that.
So please let it work. So now, off season, we don't have a DC. Thank God we got rid of Chip Kelly. Oh my God, thank God we got rid of Chip Kelly. Woo! I really hope he brings his quarterback coach because he as to bring in as OC. He is calling plays. Kubiak is still going to be calling plays. He just wants someone that can trust, and obviously he'll still be the QB coach here, and he can mentor Sam Darnold. Fernando Mendoza, because he worked with Sam Darnold. But, number 1 overall pick feels great. We still don't have a starting left guard or left tackle, either of the starting wide receivers 1, 2, and 3. Don't have any linebackers, any D tackle 1 or 2, or left end. So expectations for next year, maybe 4 wins, maybe. But it's like this. We're going in the right direction. I came in last offseason thinking, oh, we're going to the playoffs, and then we're the worst team in the league. I think I bet $100 on the Raiders Giants game week 17 because I thought the Raiders were going to be this amazing team. Obviously, I lost that $100, but I was so happy giving him the $100 because it meant that I was getting Mendoza and the Giants are still awful.
Yep.
But I love the Mendoza hire, obviously. Patrick Graham, our DC, went to the Steelers. I personally wanted him
That's
gone.
interesting. Very interesting.
I personally wanted him gone because he had 5 years to make a top 10 defense, and obviously we didn't give him the best weapons, but this was the best talented roster, and he couldn't barely do anything better. So I'm very happy he's gone. Who I really want.
Can I say something quick?
Go ahead.
It was Max Crosby and friends.
There it is.
And your defense, I think, was number 16 in total defense.
Well, yeah, it was that.
Defense.
And but Max Crosby also really didn't have that good of a year since he was obviously hurt for a while.
Yeah.
But Jeremy Chin stepped up, Polamalu stepped up, Eric Stokes played.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Stokes led the league in the fewest amount of yards, 253. Look it up. He led the league in the least amount of yards.
I'll do some digging on that.
Go do some digging because I saw
I will.
everything. And so I think obviously not a lot of people in the Raiders are going to get praised, but I want to see Eric Stokes come back on like a 4-year deal. I want to see we have like 120 mil in free agency, and
you guys do have a lot of money to spend. That is your one.
And if the Max Crosby Raiders, it's like death taxes and Max Crosby trade rumors in the offseason. So it's already started. And he literally already came out and said he's not going to get traded. So on the off chance that he does get traded, which he probably won't, I've been seeing a lot of Trayvon Walker swaps, and then we get their first-round pick this year and second-round pick this year. Do I want that?
That feels very steep.
Do I want that? No, because I love
How old
Max
is
Crosby.
Crosby?
He just turned 28. We're just about to turn 29. But overall, expectations are opportunistic and like optimistic about in 2 years. Like like Shane said, if all Raider fans could skip this season, they would. Except they want to watch Mendoza and Genty, which is going to be very fun to watch if they get more than 2 seconds to run a play.
I hope you guys have some good things going for you here. That'll be
if you don't get your quarterback killed.
But I've been down this realm so many times.
With who? Say it.
3 year Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, but I'm putting it in the terms of winning the offseason. Just a few years ago.
I know very well.
The Jets won the draft like a few years ago.
Just a few years ago, we drafted Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Jermaine Johnson.
Like unreal.
And then we had Zach Wilson that year. He had a pretty bad year. You saw him get benched against Jacksonville Thursday night for Chris Streveler, who was he was a good preseason Jet, but come on, man, he can't be going out there.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is winning the offseason, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work in the NFL. the best teams are the ones that kind of do it the right way.
I mean,
Draft guys.
I'd like to argue that point that the Patriots won the offseason last offseason and they're in the Super Bowl because they did. I would give it to them. They signed a lot of talent and obviously Will Campbell, who really wasn't that good.
Will Campbell was not good this
If
year.
if Mike Vrabel isn't coaching that team,
They're
that's a
I think that was the
7.
most underrated coaching hire.
between their head coaching hire and statistically the easiest schedule in 25 years. Like
Yeah,
that is
but they lost to the Raiders.
Week 1. Raiders were
Tell
playoff.
you something.
Dude, but like, I don't know.
I mean, they had to beat Jared Stidham. They put up 10 points in the AFC Championship. Like any
so if
normal
they-
year, not
Okay,
going.
but if they win the Super Bowl, then what?
Horrible playoff performances left and right.
Mhm.
It's not realistic.
But what if they win the Super Bowl? Then what are you gonna say?
I'm gonna wait for that to happen because
I don't
would
think it's gonna
bet
happen.
a lot of
I
money.
really don't think it's gonna happen. No.
I-
You guys,
I- This feels like one of the more lopsided Super Bowls I've seen in recent history.
you guys see they're playing a game in Australia next season.
Yeah. It's the Niners, am I
It's the
right?
Niners and the Rams, and now
like-
the Cowboys are playing in Rio. Schefter just tweeted.
That's a cool game, but I
think that-
wonder how like I'm not sure what the time zones how that's.
I think it's a day ahead.
No, I think it's what is it? 6 hours, 8 hours?
No, because they're like
No, not 8.
16 hours ahead. Woo. Yeah, so they're basically a day ahead.
Depends on where you are, but
Well, they're playing in Melbourne.
Melbourne, okay.
I mean, I'm all for like broadening the NFL's horizon to get more revenue because obviously more revenue means they can increase the salary cap, which we saw.
Mhm.
It's a $20 million increase now.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing they saw when they went to London and Dublin and wherever else they went, and they saw that much increase. But I don't know. I think Melbourne's a bit of a stretch, especially because the players are going to have to adjust to that time. Like, obviously, they're going to have a week to adjust, but I don't know if that's enough. I mean,
8 hour
16
time. Yeah, it's 8 hour. It's
it?
11:30 in the morning right now in Melbourne.
Yeah, I was gonna say 16 seems
That's
a
crazy.
little.
That's not 8. It's 11:30 in the morning. It's 14.
What?
You just
8
said
hours
11:30?
8 hours ago it was 11:30 a.m.
8 hours ago was 11:30.
Oh, yeah, but from now to 11:30, right?
Are they?
Because they're ahead of us.
I don't think they're in Friday. Oh, they are in Friday. So yeah,
They're
They're
14 hours
14?
ahead yeah, they're
Wow.
14 hours ahead.
Aiden Higgins,
what a
Wow,
pull!
Paul.
what a pull!
I mean, like,
But
realistically, Bills are either a playoff team, like a Super Bowl team, or like fringe playoff team next year. The Jets and the Raiders are fighting for the number 1 pick again. Let's go. And I mean, what more can you like? If you expect the worst and you get like I don't know, like when we got Brock Bowers at 13, right? At some point, you got to realize, okay, we're at 13, then we dropped to 6, then we dropped to 1. And what I didn't like was I liked when we fired Pete Carroll, but like we give head coaches 1-year deals because we hire people who are old and want to win now and can't. And I'm luckily that John Spytek finally realized it, and Brady stepped in instead of Mark Davis saying, "Oh, we're gonna win." And we finally got a young head coach. We're gonna draft a rookie QB. I know Shane doesn't really like this idea, but I like when first. I want to see how a first-year head coach with one of the greatest offensive minds in football as of right now. No, he is.
I don't. Yeah, but here's the thing.
Mendoza. I feel like
You know,
that's good.
we look at Seattle. Why are they successful this year? Let's really talk about it.
Because they
Sam Darnold does so much for that team. I also think laying off DK and Lockett and giving JSN kind of full control of that receiver room, having them, travel wherever the offense needs them to is big. But Kevin O'Connell fixed Sam Darnold, Shanahan too. Sam Darnold didn't go from the Jets right to the Seahawks.
You know what's crazy?
He won 14 games last year. That was a legit team if the defense didn't shit the bed. Offense too. I understand that part, but
he's got the best 2-year stretch of records here in NFL history.
I
mean, I think he's the first quarterback in NFL history to win 14 games.
2 years, yeah, unbelievable.
I mean,
but
I know that's not just by mistake, but I'm not saying like give all the props to Kubiak, but Obviously, K9 had a career year. JSN had a career year. Sam Darnold had a career year. At some point, Sam Darnold's play elevates a lot of other people's play. But at
Hmm.
some other play, the offense coordinator deserves some type of prop.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
like, I just like I don't. I'm not one to I like to give props to the players and all that. Like, I think that but at some point, and I know it's gonna seem like I'm biased because he's becoming the Raiders head coach, but it's a great like his play calling and his play design is just so unique, and I think
It's true.
that he can do more with the Raiders roster, because not like QB wise, but Genty is more elusive. He has Brock Bowers, who's the one of the best tight ends in football, if not the best. I might put Trey McBride over him just because of last year and how Brock Bowers got hurt.
Talent level, I'll give you that.
I would probably take Bowers.
But then you don't have receivers though. Like you don't have maybe I don't know, like second round, or you just go out and you overpay a lot for George Pickens, which I don't think you're going to do, or you sign a guy like Juwan Jennings to be a solid wide receiver too, because
Hmm.
you're not because none of these guys in free agency is a real wide receiver one besides George Pickens.
Hmm. We're gonna dig into free agency and the draft on an episode coming up. Probably
Episodes,
sometime this coming week.
yeah, we'll
One
go.
last thing, we'll wrap it off. We'll
Yeah,
wrap it off on today.
Shane's gonna go watch the
Um,
Islander game.
I just want score predictions for the Super Bowl. We'll start with Pwit.
Yeah.
Just a quick score prediction.
Yeah. I'll go Seattle. I'll go Seattle 31. I'll go New England 20.
I like that.
24 maybe.
I think I have Seattle 1, New England 0 in my box. So let's see. Let's hope.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Higgins, what do you think?
No, I'll end off. You go.
Okay. I got something pretty similar. I got 34-30. I think Seattle takes it. I think it's going to be a slow start. I think it's going to be a 10-7 start. I think New England's going to surge late, and then I think Sam Darnold's gonna defeat the Ghosts. Lead a game-winning drive, and I know be remembered forever.
It's in the script.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna go a little bit different. I'm gonna go 24-10 Seahawks. I'm not gonna give. I think it's just the fact that both these defenses are tough, and just Drake May hasn't really, like you said, hasn't he played the Broncos, but he had 86 passing yards.
Right.
Like
It
it's not.
was pouring.
It
I'm
was,
sorry,
and
snowing.
Yeah.
There was
you
like
know,
a foot of snow on the
it
field.
was. He didn't put up that many points against the Broncos defense, and I think just being a second year QB, obviously it's Sam Darnold's first Super Bowl, but obviously he's been in the league longer. I think it comes down to just 24-10 defenses play defense and Seahawks win. I also have 0-4 in my Super Bowl pool, so
Yeah,
I have
we'll
it
see.
covered.
We'll see. Should be a good game. But all right. It was a good episode today. Good introductory episode. Be ready. We're gonna try to pump out like 3, maybe 4. And, yeah, good talking to you guys.
Sorry, I played once. You're gonna watch Island game?
Yep.
P-Wood, if you want to stay on for like 5 minutes, because I'm gonna go watch.
All right,
Island.
fellas. I'll catch you.
Catch you boys. Go Sabres.
Nope.
Oh, go Islanders.
Nope.